Alright, boys, pack it up. Dragon Age Veilguard, dead, forgotten, and boring, just like Starfield and all the other Vogue shebanzas. But now, let's go back to Ubisoft, because they still have a mountain to fall off of. And they didn't make it high up the mountain, but they're falling off anyway. It's gonna be great.
Here we are talking about Ubisoft, and their recent track record hasn't been that great. But when we're talking about Star Wars Outlaws and the updates that Ubisoft...
Remember Star Wars Outlaws? The best game ever. Probably the saddest combat story and stealth we have seen in the past 5 years. I think it was beautiful. I think you're a bigot if you didn't like it. What do you not like about Kate Moss or Voss or whatever her stupid name is? About her independence and autism. Definitely autism. That's like a super big one for her character. And her little baby Yoda companion. How dare you not buy the exclusive deluxe edition for $120 of literally gaining nothing? You're definitely a misogynist. By the way, proud bigot, Nazi, Trump supporter, all of those things right here, baby boo. It's great. You should join the dark side. We kind of fucking win because we're reasonable.
wants to bring to the table in just a few short weeks here, they are targeting, in my opinion, the biggest problems with the game. Like the main ones I called out in my review, beyond the bugs and the animation.
Wait. They're gonna remake the whole game? Because that's the problem in Star Wars Outlaws. It's literally everything.
Which I don't think are going to be totally changed by that point.
No, seriously, I'm not joking, by the way. It's everything. I know you haven't played it, neither have I, but I have watched other people play it, and even that was goddamn painful. Okay, listen. The stealth mechanics are bad, the dialogues are bad, the quests are bad, the upgrades are bad, the blaster is bad, the stealth is bad, the stealth is bad. Again, stealth is so bad I'm mentioning it 3 times, okay? The instant takedowns are bad, the weapon choices are bad, the save points are atrocious, the stealth is really, really bad. And this the reputation system doesn't make any sense. Jabba the Hutt is literally gonna risk it all to save you from the evil empire. Kill me.
But things in the gameplay.
Also, the graphics are bad and the character's ugly. Again, seriously, the list of the things that this game is bad at is fundamentally amazing. The maps are bad also. The loading screens are long and bad also. Again, I don't think you can point a single thing in this game and I will say, yeah, that's reasonable.
The decision making there was so perplexing to me. We'll get into it more, but they're making changes there with a brand new creative director at the helm, so we'll also get into what that could mean for the future of Star Wars Outlaws. Second topic on the docket is going to be Assassin's Creed Shadows once more. They're kicking up a brand new modern day storyline for this game. Whoa. And I saw a lot of press outlets when covering this spinning.
Also, I have literally no idea what the modern day storyline for this means, but welcome to the rice fields, bitch! Lovely. Also, as Japanese people have mentioned, and I will just pat it because I have no idea how rice fields work, these things are gonna flood because they're way too close to the river out of 10.
It as an immediate positive for the game, a rare positive for the game, as IGN put it. And I found this very surprising because it felt like a lot of these outlets were largely disconnected from what Assassin's Creed has been trying to do since Desmond's story ended in 2012 with Assassin's Creed 3. And yeah, they've tried multiple modern storylines, and they've tried ones that have stretched across multiple entries, even like they did with Origins into Odyssey and into Valhalla. So this has been attempted before. I don't know why them confirming a brand new modern day story is something that exactly brings excitement to a new level when they have attempted this, but nonetheless, I want to read the words from Ubisoft and talk a bit more about what a modern day story can do for the franchise and how I think people are looking at this a bit with rose-tinted glasses. I'll get into it all in just a little bit, but ladies and gentlemen, welcome. If you're new here and you're into just...
No one is looking at anything that Ubisoft currently does with rose-tinted glasses.
Talking about what's going on with Ubisoft.
We already know that the Outlaws probably has lost Ubisoft anywhere starting from 200 million to 300 million.
We kind of hopped on that train a couple months ago. It's been enjoyable talking about a different...
Ubisoft, shareholders want Ubisoft to buy out the shares and take the company private to fix it. The reality is that you probably figured it out, but if the shareholders want you to buy the shares, and taking a company private means that, well, you're buying all of the shares, but you're buying them at a premium. That means that the shareholders have absolutely zero thoughts and respects against Ubisoft that they're gonna pull it back. They think they're just gonna keep on falling. They see no chances. They want to salvage as much as they can from this dumpster fire of a gaming company.
Company from my usual wheelhouse with like Bethesda and CD Projekt Red and BioWare and so on and so forth. It's been nice to kind of branch out beyond just RPG games and take a look at something like Ubisoft and what they are bringing to the table, which as of lately hasn't been much. And they did shut down the one team with Prince of Persia that did bring something to the table. But nonetheless, let's get into it, starting off with Star Wars Outlaws. So for those who didn't catch my review, the too long didn't read for it is that it was the thinnest margin between, I don't do number scores, but really like the thinnest margin between a 5 and a 7 or an 8.
I'm sorry, did you
I don't do number scores, but really like the thinnest margin between a
that was so dumb.
5 and a 7 or an 8. Like
any reasonable person would give this a solid 2.
There were so many little decisions that this game could have made that could have brought it to a much more respectable area for me. And as you'll see in my review, the least of my complaints really has to do with the story. Like, I kind of enjoyed Kay.
Look at how ugly she is. Look at how unbelievably unattractive and rancid she looks.
Yes, I like the ideas with the story, and I felt like they didn't take the obvious.
And this just looks straight out Knights of the Old Republic graphics, okay?
Route constantly. Was it the best story I played this year? Certainly not. Was it the best Star Wars story I've seen? Definitely not. But I thought it was serviceable enough where if it was surrounded by really good gameplay, it actually would have been a really surprisingly decent package. Well, Ubisoft has a brand new creative director at the top of Star Wars Outlaws in Drew Reckner, as announced here in their reflection.
Okay. I have no idea who that is. Let me Google it. Drew Reckner. Let's see his pictures. Wait a minute, he doesn't exactly look like your typical soy boy. Huh. That's awkward. I expected to see some soy-looking fatso. Oh.
On the launch of the game. This is in their first developer update posted on their Star Wars Outlaws blog. And for those who don't know, the former creative director for Star Wars Outlaws was Julian Garrity, who's now moved on to work on Division 3. And I actually interviewed him with the launch of Division 1, if I remember correctly. So he's been there a long while, and I think Division's always been awesome. So he's kind of going back to what I think his bread and butter is. But they say here in this post, your feedback has already resulted in 3 title updates in which we focused on fixing some of your biggest concerns, such as bugs, reducing major friction points in some key missions, particularly around stealth, and adjusting the speeder, camera, and collision, as well as much more. That being said, there are 3.
Oh, wow. 3 things out of a billion that they need to fix. The Starfield approach, my boys. Everything is fine with the game. We just need to fix bugs. Surely, then the people will buy the DLC.
3 key areas in which we are looking to improve the game even further. The first key area of improvement to the game is combat, where we see a real opportunity to add some more depth and excitement to the experience, further rewarding your tactics and precision. Our second key area is stealth, which is not only about improving the readability and consistency of enemy detection, but also providing choice in how you want to approach.
Bro, I mean, honestly, the consistency is already a 10 out of 10 banger, if we're being completely honest. You hit someone and kill them, everyone rushes to your direction, you take one step back into slightly tall grass, congratulations. You just evaporated, and enemies are gonna do nothing. Maybe shoot air, if in the best case scenarios, who fucking knows.
Each encounter. Finally, our third key area of focus is centered around the character controls, which means improving the reliability of cover, increasing the responsiveness of climbing and crouching, and generally improving the consistency of the controls overall. You can expect to see more details about how we will be celebrating and embracing player choice more than ever before.
Oh yeah, this is This is gonna be the same as Starfield Shattered Space. Again, but Starfield Shattered Space came out, Bethesda didn't change anything. They did some bug fixes that weren't really bug fixes that introduced new bugs, and no one really cared or gave a shit about. They gave you an eat button, a vehicle that no one cares or likes because it feels bad. They gave you city maps that disillusioned even more players, and they gave you an FOV slider, like always. And that is the only game updates that they did. Because the rest of the game is fantastic. 10 out of 10. The only problem is on this absolutely fantastic game, only 6% of people who played Starfield returned for Starfield Shattered Space. And most of those people probably got it for the DLC for free anyway. And this is most likely going to be the future of Ubisoft's sloppy Star Wars shit game.
Or whether it's sneaking through.
Because if you claim that you're fixing a game, people actually expect you to change how combat works, enemies, add weapons, and do things like that. Not just, hey, stealth is shit, let's change that. Okay? People want the game, not fixes for a non-game.
Encounters, going in guns blazing, or everything in between. We will provide more specific details about the changes to these areas and more in the upcoming weeks as we provide further updates to you. All of this will culminate in the release of Title Update 1.4, which will release on November 21st alongside the Steam launch, and the first story pack, Star Wars Outlaws Wildcard. Okay, so I'm a diehard Star Wars fan, which meant that when I had to come out and say like Star Wars Outlaws was not really good at all in my opinion when it came to its gameplay experience, that was a bummer because I remember pre-launch thinking, okay, I think Ubisoft's going to miss on the story. They're not going to provide anything really original there, and the gameplay should be the sure bet. Like, I was totally cool with typical Ubisoft open world fodder, but it's in a Star Wars setting. That's kind of what I wanted at the end of the day.
Seriously, you could easily tell from the trailers that they released that the gameplay is not going to be.
And I didn't get that, and I was very disappointed about that. But it was also just the little decisions, like you can only use Kay Vess's blaster pistol. You can't carry any other weapons, and that changes how you approach scenarios because the stealth is really limited. You do get a stun shot on your pistol, but you only get to shoot it off like once every couple of minutes. It was so confusing. Otherwise, you have to stealth.
God, this is so good. These are my favorite parts. Look at this. Look at this.
Shoot it off like once every.
Okay, so he's looking at the wall and crates because clearly that's dangerous. Maybe the wall is not real. Who honestly knows? And then our hero, Kate Vess, prowling like the prowling bitch that she is. And
every couple of minutes.
It was. And you slowly turn him, and so he's like, what?
Confusing.
And then bam!
Otherwise.
So hard that dust particles fly off, and right in the chest. Not even in the jaw, but the chest, okay?
You have to
and then that's it, bam, he's out. He's
down.
He's fucking... Well, it's gone. Dead. Okay? His whole bloodline just got obliterated. It's insane.
Everyone with melee, again, just... There were so many options to make this game easily better, and I am looking forward to trying this out. I will say that, okay? I have not tried any of the recent title updates, but this here, like, word for word, bar for bar, is targeting, like, my 3 key issues with the game, which was stealth, player choice with the weapons that you bring into encounter.
Also, props to Ubisoft, honestly.
But this here,
for adding lesbian relationship simulation situation in the game.
Like word for word, bar for bar, is targeting like
pretty accurate.
Like my 3 key issues with the game, which was stealth, player choice with the weapons that you bring into encounters, as well as enemy detection, which we know the AI in this game was horrible. And I would say out of everything I
oh yeah, that's gonna
have the least.
Also, when the stupid rat just jumps on someone's face and they're like, my arms! I can't use my arms to get this rat off of my face! My arms! Where did they go? So dumb.
Expectations for it's AI. It's the way the enemies maneuver in the environment. Like, I don't have high expectations there, but I will give the game a second chance in a reinstall and see what's going on there. Because again, as I said, either in my review or on Defining Duke. I don't remember exactly. It was such a thin line between this game being the dud I felt it was and actually being something kind of great. So in the spirit of openness and objectivity, I'm not getting hyped here, but I am just taking a look at this update and thinking, okay, they have their eyes in the right place.
How does getting hyped prevent you from being objective about something that has already happened? Like, the fuck?
We'll see if they adjust, and no doubt, I agree with everyone else. It should have been this way at launch, and definitely no doubt that it is perplexing to me that none of this was caught during like early game testing, saying like, hey, stealth doesn't feel great here. Can we kind of budge on this stuff? Maybe that's why it's a good thing that we're getting a new creative.
By the way, how did this whole sequence of events even make sense? So the rodent distracts this Twi'lek, and then you shoot the other one. Like, and what's the point of any of that?
Here, can we kind of budge on this stuff? Maybe that's why it's a good thing that we're getting a new creative director at the helm. Maybe they can redeem Star Wars Outlaws a bit. This definitely isn't how Ubisoft drew it all up. Like, this game was just supposed to explode on the sales charts. It failed to do that, so they're doubling down, addressing player feedback. They mentioned in this thread here that they actually looked at like YouTube,
they're not addressing anything,
videos and Reddit posts, and just kind of tried to take it as constructively as they could. And I think that's good, because a lot of what I tried to provide in my review was like attempts at putting clips out there that were saying, hey, like the facial animations in certain conversations, just not acceptable. The combat and the enemy detection, just not acceptable. Like, I think Ubisoft has a long way to go to reach their maximum potential, but I do think they were capable of much more with Star Wars Outlaws. So that's what's going on there. Just a couple of weeks until we get an update on that. I think many people feel Ubisoft is...
I'm sure upgrading the facial animations is going to make people want to play the game
beyond redemption, and I get that, but since I already have a digital copy of the game, I'll re-download the game, try out the free update, see what's going on, probably make a video on it, frankly, because it is a game I do want to enjoy. Like, I was so set on 100%ing that game, and I do think like there are other problems with it, such as navigation. We can get into that a separate time around, but I do want to try it out, see what's going on there, keep an open mind to it. So we'll talk then when that update drops and see what's happening. Otherwise, though, let's get into Assassin's Creed, where IGN posts Assassin's Creed Shadows will begin a new modern-day story after the series post-Desmond Blues. Apologies if I say this name wrong. Mark Alexis Cote, Ubisoft's vice president executive producer of Assassin's Creed, said at a British Academy of Film and Television Arts event attended by Eurogamer that Ubisoft has, quote, struggled to find its footing, end quote, with the modern-day aspect of Assassin's Creed in recent years. Desmond's journey was at the heart of modern-day...
Wait, is this the same guy we... Yeah, this is the same guy. We know what this is. This is from yesterday's video. This is the same guy who literally says, oh yeah, here at Ubisoft, we're literally going to double down on the Vogue bullshit while admitting... No, seriously. This whole article is literally him going on a wild fucking rant about how woke games are not profitable. They know that Ubisoft is making everything woke, and the fact that they are literally going to double down on it, and that's going to be pretty much the end of the story. They know they're losing money. They know they're not going to make anything, but they're going to double down anyway on the messaging and not give a fuck. By the way, the shareholders can almost never sue a company for obligations to make the company profitable and make money for the shareholders. You know, that bullshit that everyone claims. Yeah, trust me, it's not a real thing. It's very rarely a real thing. But this is where it could be a real thing, because this guy literally admitted that he knows that they know at Ubisoft what they are doing is not profitable, and it's going to piss people off, and people are going to not like it, and they're going to lose money, they're going to lose share value, they're going to lose everything, and yet they don't give a shit. They're going to double down on it because reasons. Okay? That's actually suable. The shareholders could legitimately sue now because they actually have a situation where, as broad as they, because there is no beating around the bush here. Again, literally they just said, we know this is not profitable, we don't care, we're doubling down. They can actually sue for breaking the what was the name? Fiscal contract. No, fiscal contract is not the thing with the shareholders that you have to make them money. Fiduciary duty. There we go. Because it's such a meme. Fiduciary duty is such a fuck. It literally never. You can almost never sue for it. But when the head honcho comes out and says, "Yeah, we know we're losing money and we don't give a shit," if we know that this is then you can sue for breach of fiduciary duty. It's actually extremely easy. It's a done and done deal, by the way. But I mean, damn, how stupid can you be? And that is honestly the whole thing about Assassin's Creed. It's very blatantly insanity. And yeah, I guess that's it. That was Mr. Manny Plays. 10 out of 10. Bye.